En este programa, Fernando se ha encontrado con el geobiólogo Richard Benishai, de Israel, en Cerdañola del Vallès, Barcelona. Richard nos cuenta su visión particular sobre la geobiología y explica su metodología a la hora de realizar el estudio geobiológico de una vivienda. Veremos aspectos que van más allá de los factores físicos de los campos tradicionales de la geobiología, y entraremos en aspectos más sutiles, como las energías aportadas por las experiencias, la consciencia, las emociones y los pensamientos de los seres humanos en los lugares en los que vivimos. Richard Benishai es maestro geobiólogo y enseña geobiología desde hace 14 años en 7 países. Es fundador de la Asociación en España por el Bienestar de la Tierra y es autor de diversas publicaciones sobre geobiología en varios idiomas.
Richard, ¿cómo y desde cuánto tiempo hace que te dedicas a la geobiología?
I started with geobiology about 2000, and first I was working in geobiology as a sideline. I started to learn and I started to practice while I was working as an electronic engineer. So the idea here was that I was learning geobiology and I was also doing my work, so that there was no real problem about making a cut and starting. Geobiology was something new for me. It was something very attractive, and it was for me the opportunity to do something for my fellow men. And I was working like this in parallel for about 8 years. And 5 years ago, I stopped to work as an engineer, and I dedicated my entire time to doing geobiology.
Sí, ¿cómo es tu método de trabajo y en qué se diferencia del trabajo de otros geobiólogos?
I use the experience that I have as an engineer for 40 years, and I apply this experience to my work in harmonizing houses and doing geobiology work. I'm systematic, I use logic, and I record everything on documents that I have. I have a questionnaire which I fill out as I do the particular house, and I keep this as part of my records. If there's ever a question, I have all this documented. The way that I do this work is a step-by-step kind of procedure, which I also teach. I teach this work in 6 different countries, in 5 different languages. Of course, some languages like Spanish and Portuguese, I don't speak fluently, so I have somebody help me in the translation. The way that I teach the work is that first we make measurements of the entire house and then the different rooms. We measure certain things as the energy level. We measure things like the magnetic field, the natural magnetic field of the planet. We measure things like the negative influence of the water on the place. After we make these measurements, we go ahead and neutralize, mentally, we neutralize the particular underground currents under that property. Once that's done, then we make again measurements. Then we take care of chimneys. Chimneys, I can define later on if you wish. Chimneys are something which are very problematic and very bad for our health. And so we take care of those by moving them outside of the house. Again, we take measurements. And after the second set of measurements, then we can do a procedure, a process, which is going to take care of the different parameters that you may find in the house, like negative energy in the walls. You may have like blocked souls, which are also on the property. You're going to take care of the energy generated by television or computers and portable electric phones, you know, the wireless ones. You're going to take care of even the neighbors. Sometimes they have a negative influence on the house. You may take care of the Hartmann and Curry lines. This is very easy. This is done very easily by just saying one sentence. The Hartmann and Curry lines we take care of very easily. So I do not spend too much time on teaching Hartmann and Curry. We go over it, we experience, but we don't make a big deal out of it. The number one, the primary factor which is going to make us sick is underground water and chimneys. Of course, once in a while you may have a house with faults. So faults are also something very disturbing. But very few houses have faults. It also depends on the region. But and then finally, at the end of everything, this long list, you have Hartmann and Curry lines. So that's how my method is different, because I don't attach much importance to the electromagnetic networks like some other people may. And I don't teach that much, and we don't spend too much time when we work in a house. We just say one sentence and the whole thing is transformed from negative to positive energy. And it's amazing, but it works. All the work that we do mostly is done by the mental. So we spend very little time on doing a house, something like maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, which includes working with the chimneys, taking them outside, and so on and so forth. It's a method which I appreciate very much, because most of the time people are pressed. When you come to do their house, you don't have much time to spend there for one reason or the other. Also, when we do the work, we don't touch anything in the house, nothing. We don't move anything, we don't change anything, we don't bring anything. We come and we go clean. There is no change at all in the house. And this is something that a lot of geobiologists do not do. They may come with special earth or special stones or all kinds of other artifacts and to put in the house, and this is not permanent. Whereas the system we use, using the mental for blocking water, for blocking faults, this is a permanent system. Nobody can change that unless they know you've done it at that particular point. So that's the beauty of it.
Sí, los acontecimientos geobiológicos como las fallas, las corrientes de agua, redes de Hartmann, Curry, ya son muy conocidos en el mundo de la geobiología. Pero cuando te refieres a los aspectos puramente energéticos, hablas de las almas, hablas de chimeneas cosmotelúricas, de las energías en las paredes y de otros elementos más energéticos que has comentado anteriormente. Ese tipo de elementos, ¿cómo afectan a la salud o a la vida de las personas cuando viven en lugares donde podemos encontrar este tipo de elementos que llamas energéticos?
You have certain elements which are going to make you sick. One of them is what we call the black energy. Black energy is voodoo, curses, black magic, and you have evil eye. You have also what we call chimneys. These are cosmotelluric chimneys. There are millions of them on the planet, and usually they are going to come to the bed where you're sleeping. They are attracted by your energy. These are going to make you sick also, because they take energy from your body while you're sleeping. You have also energy in the walls. Let's say that there were some families living in the house that you moved into, and this family was always fighting and angry. This negative energy is going to go into the walls, and when you move in, you're going to be influenced by this energy. And finally, you have also dead persons whose souls are going to be trapped into a particular place on this plane. You have cases of accidents on the road where a person dies immediately. You have cases of people who are in the war where they're shot. You can have somebody committing suicide, or you can have even a heart attack. Those cases are going to keep the soul right here on this plane, and we're going to see them, and we're going to be influenced by them, sometimes psychologically, sometimes even physically. They may touch you, and it's very disturbing to live in a house with souls.
Llevas ya mucho tiempo trabajando en geobiología, pero desde hace 6 años concretamente comenzaste un trabajo muy especial que tiene como base la geobiología, es su fundamento. Y este trabajo tan especial tiene un objetivo concreto. El objetivo concreto, según me has contado anteriormente, es traer la paz al mundo. Me gustaría que nos contases un poquito sobre este proyecto en el que estás trabajando ahora.
I worked for 3 years on a project involving Israel. And in this project, I had to find 18 different places, high energy places, activate them, and I interconnected them to form a complete network. This project influenced also the countries surrounding Israel. It increased their energy level. After that, I started to work on different countries in the world, those countries which had a very low energetic level. And I worked on about 15, 16 different countries. And I'm still working here and there on countries. We also worked on countries like Spain, Japan, and France, having to do with the nuclear reactors there. Nuclear reactors create a lot of negative energy around and in the entire country. So what we did was to put a system of envelopment around these nuclear reactors so that the energy would not spread. So this we did so far for 3 countries. And very soon, with the help of my students, we're going to work on those in the United States. Altogether, there's about 108 different sites. It's too much work for me. I need the help of my students. There is also around the Earth, there is a line which I call the cosmic serpent line. And this line goes around the planet. This line was blocked in different places, and when I worked on it about 2 years ago, I unblocked the line so that the energy could flow. As I worked on each different country, I connected the country to this line at certain places. The level of the line is very high now. And we keep going on different projects all the time to improve the situation on the planet. All the time, some different things. The one project that we're working on now, that I'm working on, has to do with the CO2, carbon dioxide. And I know it sounds a little strange because carbon dioxide, there's so much of it, but apparently the system that I'm using is working. I have to create more units of purification, twice at what I've done up to now, and maybe we can see a change. Maybe, I'm hoping so. Maybe. The level of the Earth, the energy level, is going up all the time. Partially because of the cosmic serpent line, which has a very high level and is spreading. partially because of work here and there done by other people in different places, and together with the work that I'm doing, so the earth is changing. You can see that in the weather, the climate. Some places it's becoming hot where before it was cold, and the opposite. In order to improve things here in Spain, what I've done with the help of my people, my students, we created an association for the good of the earth. And this association, its intentions are to get more people to study geobiology and help in doing more countries and more projects, etc. I cannot do everything myself, it's too big a job, but I can teach people to do this work. And I hope that someday we're going to see peace. That's my intentions, that's my mission, to see peace on this planet.